Happy Monday, everyone. The records are now open. Welcome to another episode of Akashic Answers with Emily. I'm just going to check my technology, make sure it is all working here, and that we are indeed live rather than spend the first 10. Oh, nope, that's not it. It's been the first 5-10 minutes with myself here. All right, so I am going to check in, make sure that we are rolling, as they say in the business. If this is the first time you are joining, please say hello once you get here. I want to welcome you into this space. Say hello back. Alrighty. I'm running this on my business page, which of course is the Akashic Academy. If you are here first timer, then let me introduce myself personally. I'm Emily Harrison, founder and director of this powerful sacred space. I also open up this page to the Akashic Accelerator students and clients that I work with. So again, if it's the first time, let's get down to business. The Akashic Records are the realm of consciousness where every detail of your past, your present, all future possibilities are stored. This is a missing piece of technology to the planet. It's a missing key that will up-level consciousness of every individual on the planet, whether every individual is using it right now or not. Since we are still in the phase of this evolutionary process where there are light workers who are still waking up, and we are reaching that critical mass to hold a higher frequency of consciousness for the collective here on the planet. Only some of us are using the Akashic Records, but eventually every person on the planet will reconnect their access to soul level wisdom, guidance, and clarity so that you too can download instantaneous knowledge from the field. Now, this field of intelligence is not the same level of consciousness or level of intelligence that you are, thank God, right? Or might not be too useful to us. This is intelligence that is recorded from a soul level perspective. So it does not have the same level of influence, contrast, wonky ass perspective, either here or here, and extreme from experiencing your life in the 3D. Okay? Experiencing your life in the 3D or in a state of contrast, a human incarnation, is a very high level way to learn. So congratulations, you're a smart soul if you're here, even if you're looking around thinking that there are might be some. I'm going to try to control my mouth a little more than I normally do today. For those of you who are new, normally I have a very dirty mouth. I don't know that there's really any excuse for that, other than I remember the first time I said fuck to my mom, and it was like so empowering and scary, like my stomach dropped at the same time, because I didn't mean to say it. I wasn't planning to say it. It just flew out of my mouth. And I was in college. And then from college, for those of you who know my story, I should say after college, or right in the middle of college, 2 years in, I quit University of Missouri to seek fame and fortune in Hollywood. One of those downloads came in. All of a sudden, my life made sense. I'm like, screw this conventional life. I want to be an actress. So I moved to Los Angeles for 20 years and dove into what it meant to be expressed as a storyteller. That artsy-fartsy freaking way to say I was an actress, right? I was an actress, but expressing myself as a storyteller required me to take a fine level of control of my own internal energy, which is when I began to meditate. I had to do that, honestly, for starters. It wasn't really about tuning into the character like I got all artsy before about, oh, I'm telling the stories, right? The stories of humanity, which is why I wanted to be an actress. Hell no, I had to control my energies just so I could maintain calm and composure in the audition room. And after I successfully began to learn how to work with my energy, and I could like get past that threshold, or I could jump over that hurdle, the meditation that I did definitely helped me to tap into characters. It helped me to move my body into a state of resonance where I could interpret a life, a truth, outside of my own. It wasn't part of Emily. It was interpreted through how I express myself as Emily, how I show up and use Emily's body and Emily's emotions. But I really learned how to tap a timeline and a feeling of a different character, which eventually translated as I continue to up level, and I'll talk a little bit more about the cosmic energies that we're all experiencing right now. But these cosmic energies, and oh my God, were they strong this weekend? Just want to check in and make sure everybody's okay, first of all. But yeah, the cosmic energies this weekend were off the charts powerful, which we'll talk more about. But as we are galactically, cosmically up-leveling, this is based on where our solar system is currently moving through the galaxy, the precession of equinoxi. One of those. It's one of those three or something close. But as we are moving through this this new Baktun, these are just Mayan time counting vocabulary is what I'm using for you guys here. It doesn't sound like 12 o'clock, like we're counting time right now. All right, but this bigger cycle of how our solar system is moving, we are moving through the constellation Aquarius, which is the awakening energy. We're aligning to a specific photonic belt that is in the galactic center, which is causing like photonic light. Light is information. Light wakes you up. Just like sound is a particular vibrational frequency that stores and transfers knowledge, information back and forth, like me talking to you. Light also transfers knowledge, transfers data, causes us to wake up. So it is inevitable that every person right now on the planet is experiencing this cosmic wake up. And as we are cosmically waking up and our consciousness is expanding, we are opening and accessing more potent spiritual technology. Okay, now I use the term spiritual technology. Let's take the spiritual out of it and just talk about regular technology in our lives right now. As a whole in our human civilization, we're using very archaic forms of technology. Yes, I know that like we got some cool stuff here and there, but overall the fact that we have not tapped into free energy yet, that we're still digging in our mountains and taking coal and gold and oil and doing all of these things that really are not replenishable resources and ways to renew our planet, that is equivalent to our level of consciousness. So as we expand our consciousness, everything about our world expands and our technology also expands. We're doing the work. We're getting there. How many of you guys meditate who are on here right now? Give me some hearts across the screen if you're a meditator. If you've become more mindful in the past year. This is an example of humanity waking up. Also, if you're feeling like you want to reinvent yourself, you want to change careers, shift, make some major shift in some way, this is also evidence of the expansion of consciousness that we're all undergoing. In order to make the most of this time, we need to, one, clear our karma, see our karma. What is karma? Karma is basically the areas where you are still ignorant about who you really are and what you're here to do and how you fit into the world around you. Basically, this comes down to ignorance of your ability to see yourself as God and treat yourself as God so that you can treat everyone else around you as God too. All right? This ignorance, when we don't know the truth of who we are or what we're here to do or how we're here to show up and create and give on the planet, your soul truly gets pissed and you start acting out. You start acting like an asshole. That's what happens when you don't know yourself. Okay? So this time of expanding our consciousness and learning to see ourselves as God and see everyone connected to us as God requires a new system of thinking. It requires learning to use the God mind or tap into universal intelligence to guide and to inform how we're doing, how we're processing, how we reflect in our lives. And that's what we get through the space of the Akashic Records. We learn to perceive life and all possibilities in life through a level of unconditional love, zero judgment, and infinite intelligence. and it changes things pretty drastically. I was talking about karma and our ignorance of being God. When we inflict this ignorance on other people, the ignorance of not knowing the truth of who we are, we create a perpetual karmic cycle. Dawn says, if you're doing readings, I would love one. Dawn, I'm going to do readings in a bit, but I'm preaching right now, okay, sister? Everybody who wants a reading, don't type in, please, I want a reading. Please type in a specific question, because this is not any typical place to dive in and to get psychic intuitive readings. No, you're at the Akashic Academy. We're diving into the Akashic Records, which contain every detail, again, I said this in the beginning, past, present, all possible futures. When you have access to this level of information, get specific. By the way, the records endorse that. They shine on you. You get an A+ for being specific. What do I mean by you get an A+? Your question will get answered whether I answered or not. That's what I mean, you get an A+. If you show up here in this space with the heart to be open and to grow and to expand and to receive intelligence, and you ask a question, the answer will drop in for you. I'm not promising by the end of this time we have here together. It might be by the end of the week, and I might not even answer or address your question. But I can guarantee you, if you type in your question, the nature of the Akashic Records is to expand the consciousness of any question that is asked. The records work by invitation only, which doesn't mean they invite you. You invited yourself here. Which, I let people invite themselves to my parties. I don't know about you. You invited yourself here. The records didn't invite you here. Similarly, you are inviting forward the knowledge that you are ready to receive from the space of the records. One of the reasons the records have stayed hidden or suppressed for so long on the planet, I mean, a lot of you have been doing this kind of metaphysical work for a long time. Maybe you've only heard of the records. You're just starting to see more of a momentum being created around the Akashic Records. It's because the records work by invitation only, and we've now come to a higher level of our consciousness through discipline, through dedication to the work, where we're ready to use a higher level of technology like this. Trust me, taking the time to discover and unravel questions unlock everything for you. All right, so let's dive in with some questions. I'm going to scroll through here, take a look at the comments that are already coming in. Tanya, Dawn, I see you here. Also grateful to have you. Michael, Ben, Sonia, Jen, Jamie, Dina, Karath, all of you. Trina, thank you so much for being here. Type in your questions, guys. Let's get down to business. All right. If you are already receiving value from this time here together, I'll share with you. I get on, I hit go. The guides start channeling through me. Masters, teachers, loved ones, and ascended master guides, light being guides, all come through in the space of the Akashic Records. So if you've already received a little value from being here in the preaching that's coming in, send some hearts, some love, some likes across the screen. All right, I'm diving in. I'm going to go grab some questions. Let's see. Yeah, thank you all for saying hello once you get here. If you're doing readings, I would love one. Donna says that. See, way too much people in there. Okay, Dawn, yes, my question is, I love this. When you're done preaching, the people in my life leaving through transition or being done, am I on the right road? Okay, the people in my life that are leaving through transition or through being done. All right, yeah, the guides, thank you, Dawn, for that. The guides that are coming in, I feel like they're presence of a grandmother who has passed and maybe an aunt who has passed. It feels like there's some feminine lineage showing up to support you right now and just to like witness and be there. So, and then I feel this message coming in from a higher level guide. Okay, not that your grandmother and your auntie, if that's who they are, aren't high level. This is like very ascended master and galactic. Although I'm not 100% familiar with the energy, I have to say. And I know a lot of the Ascended Master Guides. All right, so Dawn, let's just see what they want to share coming in and tune back in. The guides are speaking about the major timeline collapse that you're experiencing, Dawn, that has to do with ancestral beliefs collapsing in your family, which this definitely needed to happen. And it's been okay. They're showing me similar to similar to the storyline that I look at extraterrestrials and disclosure here on the planet. So disclosure, or this idea of the truth surfacing of where we've been lied to and where we have false constructs and belief systems and what needs to collapse, that this has been bubbling and coming to the surface for a long time, and it's been in the works and planned for a long time. What you're experiencing right now, Dawn, is the culmination and it's almost like it feels almost like a fire in a forest when I never done that in this life. It's only in a past life that I ever experienced in forest rejuvenation through fire. My mama told me not to play with fire in this lifetime. However, I didn't listen. I like ceremonial fire. I got a big burn mark on my desk over there where I lit the whole thing up the other day. All right, so Dawn, it feels like this is a reinvigorating, a renourishing, I can't get the exact right word right now, but you know how the fire replenishes the soil, and that's what I'm experiencing. The feelings that are coming up that are around this for you. Let me just tune in and see if there's anything else coming in. There's some suppression of truth around children, Dawn, that might not be fully resolved yet. If that resonates with you, please, and Dawn, you can please feel free to reach out to me privately. Because I also noticed the way that the guides use me to communicate, and that is, like, it feels like there's a lot of, like, start and then kind of a pullback, and then a start and then a pullback, and then a start, and then it starts to get going, and there's uncomfortable, there's like anxiety that underneath it. So let me know if that resonates with you, and that would just be the guide's way of honoring the sensitivity of this, so I don't just go like full on the gas here in that space, here in this space, I should say. Okay, so let's do just do an energy detox and reset. All right, so for those of you who feel like you need an energy reset, an energy detox, what we're going to do is just a little clearing of the system, just a gentle tapping on the heart as you breathe. One more nice deep I'm reading a question, can you tell? One more nice deep breath. Samantha Palante says, do my guides need me to know something that I'm not realizing yet? Something I need to do to deepen my relationship with the guides. I'm the quiet type. Quiet type is great, Samantha, yes. Here's what the guides are saying. And this is, I feel like this is coming in strongly for you, Samantha. But the guides are just freaking rejoicing right now because they want to get this message out to a lot of people. This one's going to resonate with a lot of people. Okay? So in order to deepen your relationship with your guides or deepen your relationship with anyone in your life, and trust me, yes, you want to do this, Stop playing your tough ass self if you think you can do everything alone. Just lay it down right here, because it doesn't work like that. We all need each other. And that is the space where we thrive as humans, is in that heart connected, coherent space with one another. But many people don't feel comfortable there. And if there is a desire to deepen relationship anywhere, with yourself, with your guides, with other people on the planet, it all comes back to an invitation to know and to love yourself more deeply. It just doesn't always show up as, oh, I want to love myself more deeply. Sometimes it shows up as, I want more clear connection with my guides. Sometimes it shows up as, oh, I want my soulmate partner, or I want my twin flame partner. Sometimes it shows up as, oh, I want my business to be more profitable and more successful. All of it is the same thing. It's all deepening how much we love ourselves, how much we're willing to know and accept ourselves and to treat ourselves with compassion. Okay? The divine feminine nature, which is coming back to life here on the planet, whether you are masculine or you are feminine, the consciousness that we're talking about, this huge expansion of consciousness, requires, of course it requires both divine masculine and feminine, but let me break it down a little bit more about kind of the roles of each. And these aren't gender roles necessarily. Like, you have both of these different energies within you. The divine masculine, and they're both on the rise right now. Okay, I might have just said the divine feminine is on the rise. Hell, they're both on the rise. Here's what we're actually doing, is we're rebalancing a disharmony that we last experienced, a more harmonic convergence of the masculine and feminine in ancient Egypt. And then when ancient Egypt fell, we moved from a matriarchal society to a patriarchal society. So when we were a matriarchal society, the connection of the divine feminine to the intuitive realm, to the God realm, to the goddess realm, to nature, to wisdom, women are naturally able to connect and call that in more. Now, humans are up-leveling to a point where every single human can do this, by the way. They're just skills, they're just muscles, it's just a certain way that you need to learn to work out your body so that your body can do this and perform this. I promise it's that easy. Okay? We're not going to go super into that here, but for those of you who want that level of training, just comment AR below right now. And I'll have my team circle back with you, and we can talk more about specifically how that comes to life in the Akashic Records. AR, if you want that. All right. But today we want to stick with the understanding of these energies are out of balance, the masculine, feminine. When we last experienced a better balance of this, the feminine was regarded for this powerful, deeply magical, nurturing, connective way that she showed up and created and shared and procured more people, more society, kept it all moving, right? And then the divine masculine fiercely protected that. And then something flipped along the way. Now you'll notice we've experienced this flip the switch of the timelines many times. Something flipped along the way, and all of a sudden that divine, beautiful, nurturing, feminine magic that they couldn't explain became, oh, bad shit. She was a witch and she was a prostitute, and then it flipped. So we're doing this flip-flop thing back and forth of whether we love to nurture the divine feminine or whether she is terrible. We know she's not terrible. And we know the divine masculine, while he can present as quite an asshole sometimes, is not terrible either. There's healing and rejuvenation that needs to happen. So as we are going through this up level, the divine masculine is the part of you that takes action and makes decisions. You may notice that part of you is wounded. I did a training recently for, this heart goes this way, why don't I do that? Hang on. For spiritual entrepreneurs, where, hang on, I just laughed at myself and I forgot what I was saying. Let me get my thoughts back. Oh yes, the divine masculine and making decisions and taking actions. And I shared recently in a business training that I did, I had this big aha moment. It was my divine feminine who figured it out. My divine masculine did not figure this one out. My divine feminine was like, oh, she saw this and she's like, oh, Emily, we need to fix this. Okay? So what I realized was I was leaking energy because my divine masculine was actually wounded. Because I wasn't making decisions and taking action as quickly as I wanted to. I was hemming and hawing. Oh, it's not the right time. No, bullshit, it's not the right time. I was scared to make a decision. And when I owned the fact, I stopped giving away, oh, it's not the right time. And I owned the fact that it's me who gets to make a decision, who makes it the right time. My circumstances, they're telling me it's not the right time to do whatever. I can't expect that to change without me changing. And I realized I was leaking a tremendous amount of energy by not making swift, powerful, confident decisions. See, there's my divine feminine and masculine working together. My divine feminine said, oh, divine masculine, you're leaking a little energy right here. All right, but my divine masculine trusts my divine feminine. I trust myself to go inward and to get hidden knowledge. Now, that's what the divine feminine is doing. And Samantha, this is a long preach to get around to answering your questions, but here's what's being invited of you and being invited forward in your divine femininity, to know your divine feminine more dynamically, is to create a sacred space for reflection. That's what the divine feminine does. That's where her power is in reflection. She finds hidden knowledge and resource through reflection, where the divine masculine makes decisions and takes action. So what does it mean to be more reflective so that you find that inner wisdom? For me, it means journaling and asking myself questions. And again, the questions are so important because questions unlock answers. They unlock possibility. Questions also measure your consciousness. Here's what I mean by that. I talk about and said before, like, the records work by invitation only, meaning you have to ask the knowledge that you want to invite forward. We're constantly doing this anyway. By the way, you guys are all reading records all the time, constantly. You don't even know you don't. All right? Here's an example. You're driving along, you're going to work, you get cut off. You're like, why the fuck does everybody keep cutting me off today? Could you understand what I said through my gritted teeth? I said, why the fuck does everybody keep cutting me off today? You're going to get an answer back in your head, back in your imagination right away that's going to fill in that gap for you. And it's probably going to say something that is not too helpful because everybody and their mother is out today. How helpful is that? It's not helpful. But ask the question, what am I doing to invite resistance into my life at every turn today? You see the difference in my consciousness when I ask those questions? When I ask the question, where is this unseen place where I'm in resistance? It's obvious, coming up everywhere, everyone's cutting me off. The answer I get might sound something like, well, Emily, you're rushing because you slept through your alarm, you didn't get enough sleep. Now that frantic energy is drawing more of that frantic energy to you. That kind of an answer has given me a place where I can look and shift and accept responsibility. So, Jackson Chamberlain, how are you? How are you, cheeks? Good to see you too. So, in this idea of the questions that you ask, questions are very, very important. How many of you feel a little stuck when it comes to asking the questions that reveal the deep stuff? If you do, if you want help with the questions, put question marks in the comments. Question. Just question marks. I'll have my team, we're going to circle back around and make sure that we take care of you. Okay? I created a tool when I first started doing this work that was originally just for my Akashic Records students. I said it goes this way. That helps you to identify the questions that will be of the highest level of consciousness and invite forward the level of clarity that you are looking for in your life. So for those of you who would be interested in getting your hot little hands on that, thank you, Sherry. Do what Sherry did. Question, 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 question. Dawn, yes. Yes, yes. Type in your question marks. Yes, Amber, yes. Thank you. All right, so anybody else who would like access to that, just type in the questions. That will let my team know that we want to circle back and make sure that you have that reference tool that will allow you to ask consciously appropriate questions. Sometimes we just don't know what questions to ask. I didn't understand about that until I got really deep into the nuance of this work. And now, hey, Mels. And now that I understand more about it, I can get right into the nuance of the question that's going to unlock everything. There we go. All right, let's take one more quick question here. Those of you who are typing in questions or the question marks right now, go ahead and keep that coming. Hi, Simon. I'm excited to hang with you in a bit. All right, let's just scroll through and see where we can. Ben Beeler, am I following my highest soul path? Things are pretty chaotic the last few days. I am staying remarkably calm and centered through the storm. Then yes. Okay, this is awesome. Great question. Here's how you determine if you're on the right path. How do you feel on the path? Did you notice Ben said, I feel calm and centered? Booyah. That's where you look to do the measurement to say, am I on the right path? Because right now we're in a time of transition where the right path can look confusing. It can feel right at one moment, but then not feel 100% right in the next moment. The more we tune into the subtle energy field, your emotions and thoughts are subtle energies too. So the more awareness of the subtle field you have, the more control you have over it. And I'll also tell you, it's unstable. How unstable is your thought? How unstable is your emotion? It can go boom, boom in a second. Yeah, really cool that you're learning to tap into it. Really cool that you're gaining mastery on how to manifest, how to use your thoughts and emotions to create a certain energy in your body. But guess what? It's an unstable field. And most people who are seeking higher levels of intelligence or higher levels of consciousness stop there. And we can't stop there. So Ben, the tendency is to look at our circumstances and say, based on my circumstances, am I on the right path? And when we're transitioning in a way that the old breaks down before the new arranges, if you're in the breakdown and you use the ordinary world or the feedback from the breakdown to inform you, you're going to be like, oh shit, things are breaking down. Don't use the ordinary world, the old world. Remember, we're on the hero's journey. We're leaving the ordinary world. We're drinking the elixir and we're emerging in the extraordinary world. But while you drank the elixir and shit is transforming in your life and the old world is trailing you, it can look a little scary. If you keep looking back at the old world. Or if you're tuned in and you're tapped in like Ben is tuned in and tapped in, and Ben knows his own internal energy and he feels calm and he feels secure, that's what he uses to guide him. Making sense? Can I get an amen up in here? All you wise, wise, wise people, I have enjoyed spending this time with you. Thank you all so, so much. We have a couple of offers that I threw out for you along the way here, a couple of tools. I gave you the instructions on how to let us know if you wanted those tools. If you want to know more about the Akashic Records, you can type in AR. If you want to know more about asking questions that uncover the highest possibilities for you, you can type the question thing in there. All right. If you got really confused on what to type in where and you just want to reach out to me, please do that too. Don't do it here in the comment string. Reach out to me on private messenger. Let me know what is alive and going on in your field, because there are many opportunities to make an instant decision to shift and change. Lots of programs. lots of ways that we can help you here at the Academy and point you in the right direction. Okay? Yes, to work with me one-on-one, it requires an investment. For those of you who are ready for that kind of deep dive, oh, there's nothing like it. For those of you who aren't quite ready for that deep dive, we have free resources and free programs that we will make sure you get the support that you need for the level of expansion that you are currently experiencing, which is perfect, by the way. Whatever you are experiencing right now is truly where it's right where your soul has set you up and guided you to be, which right now in this moment is here with me at the Academy, so you're in great hands. I know that for a fact. I love you all. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you all throughout the rest of the week as I go back and dive into the comments, reach out, answer questions, but also next week, because I tend to show up here at least once a week for some Akashic Answers with Emily. If this has been valuable to you, please take a moment before you wrap up with us here today and share this out. It's one of the most impactful things that we can do in spreading consciousness and reaching that tipping point where together we can collectively hold this higher frequency, is to share and to educate. So thank you all, and I will see you back here again.